This is the story of the time when the guy I was dating told me I should put up a bird feeder in my backyard. He said watching birds was relaxing. Now, I knew nothing about birds, but I liked the idea of relaxing. Would he help me set it up? Sure. Dear Diary, Day 1. Cliff arrives in his truck to take me to the hardware store. We buy a bird feeder, a giant bag of sunflower seeds, a garbage can to house the seeds, a shepherd's hook, and a bird book. We return to my house, mount the feeder in the backyard, and sit and wait for our first customer. The first customer is a large gray squirrel who shimmies up the shepherd's hook, hangs upside down by his tail, reaches his hand into one of the holes of the bird feeder, and stuffs his mouth full of sunflower seeds. Day 2. I wake up and go to the window to see what kind of birds are on the feeder. There are no birds on the feeder, yet the feeder is empty. Throughout the day, I refill it several times. I finally realize that the more I refill it, the more squirrels there are in the backyard. This new batch of squirrels includes an instructor who is teaching the others how to chew the plastic inserts so the holes will be big enough for the sunflower seeds to just pour out onto the ground. Day 3. Second visit to the hardware store. This time I buy a metal feeder, guaranteed to be squirrel-proof. The squirrels like this feeder even better than the plastic one because they feel more secure when they're hanging upside down. Day 4. I finally see my first bird, a blue jay, lying dead on the patio. I have no idea what he died of, probably hunger. That evening I discuss my squirrel problem with Cliff. He suggests I put up a squirrel feeder so the squirrels will leave the bird food alone. We buy a squirrel feeder. The squirrels now have 2 places to eat. Day 7. While mowing the grass, I glance up at my roof. Somebody has pulled up my gutter guard, and there are pieces of shingle on the ground. It's one thing for the squirrels to eat the bird food. It's another for them to eat my house. I march inside and call Cliff. Is he home? Of course not. Despite my fear of ladders, I put one up against the house and climb up to inspect the damage, cursing Cliff the whole way. About halfway up, a mosquito bites my left eyelid. By the time I reach the top, my eye has swollen shut. With my remaining eye, I peer into the gutter. There's a nest. Somebody's been building a nest. The owner of that nest objects to my being there and starts scurrying towards my hand. Screaming all the way down, I descend the ladder. With an ice pack on my eye, I call the Humane Society and ask their advice. They suggest I set a trap in the backyard to catch the squirrels. How can I do that? There are dozens of squirrels in my backyard. No birds. There have never been any birds. I decide it's time to get out of the bird feeding business. I throw away the bird feeder, the bird food, the shepherd's hook, and the bird book. It would have been nice to have fed some birds, but as a homeowner, my first duty is to my house. One thing I'm sure of, the squirrels won't cause any more damage to my roof. That's where Cliff's going to sleep for the next few weeks.